Well, let's get right to it. I am Mr. Green. This is Trade Phantoms. Let me make sure you can see my computer screen. I believe you can. About a minute early. I'll give the stragglers about 20 or 30 seconds to get in. This is Trading and Investing Psychology with Mr. Green, and this is Trade Phantoms. Good to have you along today. I know we have a lot of people that are current members and a lot of people that are looking to possibly join us. So this is a good way to see some of the stuff that we do, just to allow you to understand that trading and investing isn't all about strategy. What's going on, dude? That trading and investing has a lot to do with the mind, right? So now usually in this series, we go deep, right? Tonight's not that kind of night. Tonight's more, we're going to talk more trading, psychology, tools, stuff around that long. You guys probably like that, a little bit of a break of dissecting your personality. So the agenda is always how to avoid trading emotionally to the best of our abilities. Tonight's topic is managing trades without emotion. So we're going to give you some tools. We're going to talk about that, all right? Talk about what gets in the way of that, why we struggle with that. Just some disclosure stuff as always. Please no recordings or videos, obviously, or pictures. Obviously, take notes if you need to. We guarantee no profit or success for you guys. We do have a money-back guarantee if you decide to become a member. You can see that through our website. And we are strictly an educational facility. We are not a brokerage. We are not here to tell you what to do. We're here to teach you what to do and hold your hand through that process so you can become a profitable, independent trader. All right. Tonight's topic, managing trades without emotion. What really made me come up with this tonight was because it's the hardest thing in trading. A lot of people, when you come in to this business, finding your entry, your stop, and your target, if you're using institutional order flow, is the easiest part. That's the first thing you learn. And then all of a sudden, this thing called managing trades gets into play. And it just doesn't work out exactly the way that you think it should. You're like, oh, well, I've got an entry here, a stop here, and a 4-to-1 risk to reward target. And it didn't hit my target. But the supply zone worked. What's going on, Mr. Green? There's a lot of factors. This isn't as black and white as you think it is, specifically in FX, but all markets. So there's keys to this, right? Who here has ever been in a trade, be honest, that you were up 5-to-1 risk to reward, and maybe your target was at 7-to-1, and it came all the way back, and it's not even the fact that you didn't make the money, you got stopped out and lost money. That's happened to me. Not anymore, but it has. You guys get the gist of what I'm saying. That should never happen. All right? That should never happen. We're going to talk about avoiding that. So, there's psychological things. There's greed. There's greed comes into that. But also, no, you're like, hey, man, I did this right. I did the strategy right. I looked for opposing supply and demand with a target. And, this should go to a 7-to-1. Well, okay. So now it's ego. It's pride, right? All that stuff starts coming into it, okay? Yeah, that's part of it, Jared. I'll get into that part of it as well. That's a huge component of it. Just set them up and forget about the money. But also forget about being right. Just do it. Because here's the deal. If I'm up 5-to-1, risk to reward, and I've got an 8-to-1 target, and I'm in an Australian dollar trade, and there's Aussie news coming out in 3 hours that I don't have a read on, and it's a coin flip, common sense has to come in. Either A, close it, B, reduce position, or C, reduce position and move the stop loss up. You've got to be willing to do those type of things. So my point is this. You're always going to come into a trade, black and white, with a plan. Black and white. cut and dry with a plan. Entry, stop, target. But you've got to be willing to make adjustments in the managing process. Does that make sense? Give me a yes in the chat if that makes sense. And you have to be predetermined to know what those adjustments are. So one of the tools that I teach here at Phantoms is the one-to-one. And I'm all about lock in a little profit. Lock in a little profit. And I'm not doing that really for you to make money. I'm doing that so you can gain confidence, because there's so many factors that can flip a market upside down at a moment's notice. It doesn't matter if it's FX or stocks or options or futures or crypto. There's so many factors. So this is where you, the human being, needs to take control. And one of the main things that gets in our own way is our pride, our ego, and our ability that we need to be right. Well, this is going to work, or greed, or fear, whatever it is. You've got to be willing to adapt. I talk a lot about living in the gray area. Live in the gray. Some things are black and white, some things are gray. A lot of this is gray. Get in the gray. Managing trades without emotion. Okay, so go back to what Jared said. Yeah. I want you confident. I want you, because if you keep getting whacked and you're constantly looking at your P&L, Jared, there's a good chance you're going to quit and never get there. Just do it. Just do the process right for where your skill level is at this time, and you'll get better and better and better. And eventually you won't care anymore. And I love to use relationships, right, when it comes to this stuff, because analogies are the best, right? People can identify with analogies. It's been said, and I believe this, the person in a relationship that has the most power is the person who cares the least. And that's sick, right? But it's true. And they say, and there's some people that say this, some people may agree with this, some people may not. Okay? You could take a marriage of 50 years. 50 years, healthy marriage, great marriage. And they say during every second of that marriage, there's some people that believe this, there's some people that don't. I tend to believe it because I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Somebody always likes the other person a little bit better at certain times and periods than the other person does. And that flips. It could be 55-45. It could be 80-20. But it changes. And the whole point of this is, when you care the least, you've got nothing to lose. You're not going to make a mistake. Guys, I have to use the men as an example here because I can't relate to being a woman and doing this. But guys, when you're out and you're trying to pick up a woman, you know, and you're trying to talk to her at a bar or a club or a grocery store or wherever, you do your best when you care the least. Can I get an amen on that, please? You do your best when you're not overthinking it and you're just free flowing. And you're just, whatever's happening is in the moment. That's when you're at your best. That's when you're best at your job. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to have a plan coming in, right? Because if Duke or Anthony, I'm just using them because they just wrote in the chat, if Duke or Anthony don't have any game and they don't know how to, speak to women and they just go out, yeah, they're probably going to make an ass of themselves. But you know what the beauty of it is? If they don't care about making an ass of themselves, they're only going to get better with practice. So why is trading so hard, realistically managing trading? Because you beat yourself up so bad when you make mistakes. You got to try to stop doing that. Easier said than done. I get it. I hold myself to a very high standard in life. physicality, health, diet, business. But the more I do it, the more I can give myself a pass because I trust myself that, okay, you slipped, you'll get back on track. Then one of the number one things I see with people, let's just talk strategy. Let's get out of psychology. Strategically, the part that I see people struggle with the most is the managing part. It's not finding entries. It's not finding stop losses, and it's not finding targets. It's not finding trend. It's not finding range, supply, demand. That's the stuff that you learn first. That starts making a lot of sense. Then that makes sense, and you think, okay, I'm good, Mr. Green. And then you start realizing, oh, shoot, there's a lot of things going on out there. There's earnings reports. There's Fed announcements. There's political elections. There's natural disasters and catastrophes that cause risk on, risk off markets. All right? There's that too, Jared. That will do it too. Sometimes you got to work yourself up to it. Okay? Because now all of a sudden, Jared, you're in a trade that's a winner. And you see more money on the screen than you've ever seen. Talking about trading with a larger account, you snatch that money up fast. All of a sudden, you're down in a trade and you're down more money than you've ever seen, but you're not stopped out yet. The trade hasn't been on, and you close the trade. And then it turns around and it becomes a winner. Because you weren't ready to trade with that amount of money yet. Now, am I going to tell you to scale it down? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I tell you to walk through the fire. Because you're only going to get... Now, I am a fan of only losing what you're comfortable with losing. But at some point, you got to step out of the comfort zone. All right? Everybody here is at a different point. Jared's been with us a long time. So, I get... And the beauty of teaching is I've been where you've been. It's like, it always reminds me of like my own personal mental health and recovery. I get it. I've been there. But back to this last thing before we wrap up. Managing the trade, the aspect of it. From a psychology standpoint to a strategy standpoint. Some tools. Reduce positions. Lock in profits. Yes, you're not going to hit home runs doing this, but you're going to get winners. And winners build confidence. And gentlemen, you know as well as I know, when you ask out 10 women in a row and they all say no, your confidence is a 0. But if you start getting some yeses, your confidence is game, man. Confidence is king in life and everything. For the women too. I don't want to just single the guys. For the women too, right? You start hitting on all cylinders at your job, okay? You start doing all this stuff right. It gets easy. I'll say this. I go to the horse track. I always talk about the horse track. I pick a winner in the first 2 races. I can't do nothing wrong. I can just see the field, man. I pick 3 losers in a row. I start chasing. Same thing here. Start chasing. So how do we avoid that? Well, once you're through the part of finding decent entries and decent exits, scale in, scale out. Mr. Blue has an excellent strategy with that. I have a great strategy too with the one-to-one. We're not doing this. We're doing this to teach you to build confidence. Yeah, I get it. Everybody wants to hit a home run. Doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So with that being said, last thing I'll say before I sign off here. Finally made it. We're about to end, Louis. But you can watch the recording, man. It's only going to be 15. So there's a lot of people in here right now that are members of our community. And we love you. you're loyal, you're diehard, you make Trade Phantoms what it is. There's a lot of people in here tonight that are not a part of the community, or there's a lot of people that are going to watch this video that are not a part of the community. If you're looking to learn how to do this, when I say do this, you know what I mean. Trade independently for yourself on a professional level that you can be consistent and make profits. That's what I'm talking about. If you're done playing games and trying to read books and get free videos on YouTube and stuff like that, if you're serious, come check us out. Just go to TradePhantoms.com. You can start where everybody starts, at a complimentary class. Click on that register here button. We usually do them on Thursday nights. There's one going on right now, so you'd have to sign up for next week. All right? In the meantime, you sign up for that class. Check us out on TikTok Live or YouTube Live. We do live trading. Tonight was a psychology class, but we do a lot of stuff online so you can see what we're about. If you're interested in the membership plans, you can go up here. All the pricing is out. Is on the website. It's not that expensive, you know. If you can, usually with a promo, it's actually super cheap for what you're getting. Usually for a month, for a monthly or a quarterly, you're right around a little over or under $100 a month, depending on what promo is going on at that time. If you really want to learn this, just like if you really want to get in shape, you pay the money. And people that have been with us for a long time, they don't leave because trading is a community. That's what we bring to the table. And I applaud a lot of people in here tonight that are already members. I mean, you guys are the stir. You're the straw that stirs the drink, man. It ain't me. It ain't Mr. Black. It ain't Mr. Blue. We're part of it. But you guys, I've facilitated and consulted with at least 10 different companies similar to this, and I've never met a community like this. I mean, you guys are serious about doing this. That's what it takes. And when I say serious about doing this, I don't mean you got to quit your life, but you understand that you're going to have to put in extra work, short-term sacrifice, long-term gain. You get it. The members of Trade Phantoms get it. And is everybody that comes through Trade Phantoms a success? No. People quit all the time just as they sign up. Just like when I go to detoxes, man, okay? I tell everybody, some of you will get sober, some of you won't. That's it. That's life. Be the one that gets it. All right? Other than that, everybody have a great evening. I told you tonight would be short and sweet. Sit in your room and grind or go boo. Hey, Louie, you always speak the truth in terms I love. All right, guys and gals. I'm signing off. I've taught a lot today. Those of the Phantoms that know, I've taught about 4 classes in-house today. So I am done. I am done until Monday, numbers game. All right? And you got it, Lucid. My pleasure. And hope to see y'all in the classroom soon. Everybody have a great night. Be safe. And I will talk to y'all soon. Mr. Green signing out. You're welcome, Louie.